Okay. He sang with Mick Jagger. He made a hit single with John Lennon. He launched Maxim, the greatest men's magazine ever. He's also been called one of the world's greatest poets. He owns The Week, a magnificent news magazine. He used to do crack cocaine in a basement. Worse, he hired me as editor-in-chief of Stuff magazine. Then he fired me as editor-in-chief of Stuff magazine. That might have been his grandest achievement. Please welcome one of the world's richest and most colorful people on earth, Mr. Felix Dennis. Felix, how are you?
I'm very, very well.
I'm glad to have you here. Yeah. Are you surprised to be on a show hosted by me?
I certainly am, seeing as I fired you 3 times, which you forgot to tell him.
You fired me from Maxim.
Yeah.
You fired me from Stuff. What was the third firing?
No, you got fired twice on Stuff.
Okay, what did I get fired for?
I can't remember the second one, but I do remember that you got fired for doing that article called the IKEA Sex Party.
Yes, the IKEA Sex Party, which
I got sued for.
Yeah, you didn't get sued for it, did you?
Yeah, well, we nearly got sued. We had to settle.
Yeah. But anyway, the IKEA Sex Party, what was it about?
The IKEA? You've forgotten?
No, I haven't. I want to hear you describe it because you get so angry.
Well, you'd be angry if you'd been sued. I mean, you know, this boy and this girl are, you know, unpacking all the flat pack and trying to put the furniture together. But you have introduced the sex element. Every time they try and unpack another piece, they're having sex.
Yes, exactly.
And then I know nothing about this. I wake up one day, pick up my magazine, and I think, holy Moses.
Yes. Yeah, there was an apology to IKEA.
Yeah.
It was the greatest. It was like, you know, the instructions you get with the really boring people. But in this case, we're having them, you know, while they're building things, have sex. You admit you loved it, though. Secretly, you loved it.
Secretly, I loved it, but you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're supposed to be a responsible editor.
You knew.
And also, you've been fired from other magazines that I didn't control for cruelty to animals, little furry pets, cute pets, where he's having them juggled in the air. They fired him from Men's Health for juggling furry little animals.
It's so not true.
It is absolutely 100% true.
You have to admit that is a wonderful visual, particularly for the holidays.
It's never happened. That never happened. I was never fired. I couldn't juggle a cat. I can't juggle balls.
He knows it's true.
Wait, Felix, do you remember this guy, Bill Schultz?
I remember Bill. He only got fired once.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He got fired and stayed fired.
Yes. But do you remember what his project originally was? It was Maxim for Kids.
That was a horrible, perverted idea. It was either in your mind or another Maxim editor's mind.
Yes.
And as soon as I heard of it, I stamped on it and crushed it to death.
Bill, is that your...
With me in the process.
Yes.
Although I do have to say, I seem to remember it being your idea.
Now, memory is defective.
All right, I want to talk to you. You sent me a care package a couple of weeks ago that featured 2 excellent books on global warming, one by Nigel Lawson and the other one called Scared to Death, which covers all the major media scares. So why did you send me this?
Greg, first of all, I have to interrupt.
Yes.
That's Lord Lawson to you.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, you don't know Nigel, so he is Lord Lawson.
In America, I got to call him a lord?
Yes, you do.
All right, I'll call him... No, I don't. I call him Nigel.
He's Lord Lawson.
All right, Lord Lawson.
I like to call him Michelle.
There you go. So tell me, why did you say... is this where your passion is right now, environmentalism?
No. I mean, basically, Lawson's book, which is called An Appeal to Reason, is actually worth people buying. It's a slender volume that took him a long time to research. This is a serious book. This is not just some piece of schlock thrown out. He started to write this book totally believing in climate change, man-made climate change.
Right.
He is a very sensible, articulate, scholarly man. And by the time he'd finished months, if not years, of research and work, he had swung 180 degrees, saying this is just virtually like a... If some of your viewers will forgive me, this is like the Middle Ages, a Jesuit cult. This is madness. You know,
it's become a religion of fanaticism.
That's right, where they claim, for example, they have secret knowledge. You're a peasant, you don't have the knowledge. I'm afraid that you must agree with everything I say, and if you don't agree with everything I say, I'm going to have to kill you because the world is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Or today, the planet is going to die, and so it's my duty. I have to kill you to save your soul or to save the planet. It's exactly the same story.
Yeah.
And yeah, the climate is changing because the climate has been changing since there was a climate.
Yeah.
Surely no one's arguing with that.
No.
I mean, you know,
I argue the existence of climate. I think that in and of itself is a ruse.
You're a very sad, silly boy. The climate is changing. Fine.
Yeah.
How much of it we're doing, I don't know, and I don't think anybody else knows, but I do know this. Bankrupting everybody is loony. They have had one really great idea at that Copenhagen thing, and I think it is a really great idea. Don't you think about this seriously, just for a minute. And that is that we, the richer countries, if that's what we still are, I guess we are, the richer countries pay certain other countries not to chop down their rainforests. And if they allow poaching and chopping down illegal logging, they don't get the money. So they will go in and stop all that slaughter of all the trees. They will stop that because they're going to get money on a regular basis. That is, this conservation of forests is a great idea. And they ought to also think about doing the same thing for marine life and parts of the sea that they control.
Yeah. Don't you own your own forest?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. How big is it?
It's pretty big. You get lost in it.
Yeah. Well, I get lost in the ball pan at McDonald's.
I didn't want to say that.
You're not allowed to be in there anymore, actually.
This is true.
Yeah.
You do not have a great north finder.
No, I don't. All right, I want to take a break, and then we're going to focus